This SoonerScoop.com video is streaming in crystal clear 4K resolution on YouTube thanks to Enjoy Vision in Oklahoma City. If you're ready to see the rest of the world just as clearly, get your fresh perspective at Enjoy Vision. Enjoy Vision. This is where Sooner Scoop LASIX.
Hello and welcome back, Eddie Radosevich, Bob Przybylo here. Another weekend ahead, full slate ahead, really, for both Diamond Sports. Softball with an interesting game on Wednesday night, but we will get to that here in a second. Baseball, obviously, headed down to Tuscaloosa this weekend for a tangle with the Crimson Tide, off to a really good start in SEC play. OU is, as well as Alabama, coming off of a weekend with the number one team in the country, Tennessee. I think a lot of things will happen when Tennessee comes to town. But first, you see the shirt that Bob's wearing. Let's tell you about our good friends over at Rhoback, RHOBACK.com. The best fit, the best feel for relatively anything these days. I'm about to order the everyday shorts as well as a Delta Performance pants. And you know, as the temperature gets a little bit warmer out, I'm sure a shirt like that will go a long way, Mr. Przybylo.
Absolutely. I love the material, how thin it is, a thin polo. I have a lot of thick ones, but now we're getting to the spring and summer.
I like that.
Perfect.
That's a perfect fit for what you need here when you're going to be headed over to Love's Field, even as early as this weekend. Promo code Sooner20 for 20% off, as you see behind us. Carrie, you can come in and ask that. I'm not going to. I don't want to get murdered. And Rhoback.com.
I picked out my own clothes.
He picks out his own clothes, damn it. And I stand with you. I do like that pink shirt, though. That's a good look. Sooner 20% off. All you got to do is go to RHOBACK.com, Rhoback.com, if you want to get yours today. And Bob, it was an interesting game on Wednesday night in Wichita. Oklahoma headed up for a midweek battle. They are 30-1, so we're not gonna hit them. We're not gonna ding them too hard. They did lose a game over the weekend. We need to catch up on. But let's start with the Wednesday night experience in Wichita. 19-16, the final score in Wichita, and Oklahoma wins, but they were up 14-3. Hand up, I'll be honest, I turned it off. I thought it was completely over. And then I got a text message from my mom, and I got a text message from Bob. What the hell is going on right now?
What's going on here? When it's 8-0, you're like, all right, nice, easy 5-inning victory. Let's go back home. 14-3, same thing. Got to find a second pitcher outside of Sam Landry. There's no doubt about it. How long Audrey Lowry going to be out? You know, this is a question that we asked Patty Gasso on Tuesday. She kind of, she hedged a little bit, so she should throw a little bit more, and we'll see where things stand. But that, you go into Wednesday, Sam Landry just threw Friday and Sunday. Got you those 2 wins in Columbia against Missouri. No doubt Sam's thinking she's not throwing Wednesday. And so for her to have to throw the final 4 innings because Kirsten Deal, Peyton Monticelli did not have it whatsoever, it's a bit of a cause for concern, right? You can't rely on Sam Landry the entire season. We know Patty Gasso does never, ever wants to go back to just throwing one arm time after time after time again. But they have got to get the confidence going for Deal again. She's got to bring her stuff again. That was a little bit, because you felt Deal will go about 4, Monticelli can go 1, we'll be back home, we'll be okay. Instead, the wheels fell off.
Is it a matter of just not missing very many bats right now, or are they walking players? What's the problem here?
It was the home run ball.
Home run ball, huh? It started in the first inning, right?
It
did.
The
very first batter in the bottom of the first.
I think the Shockers hit 5. Last night.
Incredible.
And so that's the thing is there's a lot of scouting that has been done on Kirsten Deal. There's a lot of talk about her when she came in as a freshman, but now through, the first 2 years of her OU career, everyone sort of knows her tendencies, what she likes to do. So now Deal and Jen Rocha have to sort of adjust. Like, what else do you have in your bag that can throw off hitters, can keep them off balance? Because right now they are timing it up. They're teeing it off, and OU's going to need Deal to deliver maybe even as early as this weekend.
Jen Rocha certainly has her work cut out for her. The good news is they do have an ace, and that is apparent, with Sam Landry being honored by the SEC as the pitcher of the week yet again. 2-0, 13 strikeouts, 1 earned run across 12 innings up in Missouri. Oklahoma did lose the middle game. Yep. Shocker. Oklahoma has lost a softball game. They were 30-1, but I guess you come out of there and you feel pretty good about it overall. I mean, you're still going on the road and you're winning series.
You're winning series, and you're learning how to react in those environments. That's actually the first thing Patty brought up. Going to Arkansas, going to Missouri, where you're not being cheered. It's not like, oh, the great OU is here. It's awesome that we get this moment. Like, you'll see that with some of the other, even the early season tournaments. Like, people are just glad OU's around and they can watch them. Now you're going hostile territory. How does a young team like this respond? For the most part, pretty dang good. Little hiccup, clearly, Saturday. Maybe don't want to say overconfidence, but when you win 8-0 in 5 innings on Friday,
sure,
you start thinking, okay, this weekend's going to
be a little bit easier than maybe we thought it was going to be.
Exactly. And then instead, you really had to work hard, especially Sunday until the 6th, 7th inning, where they finally kind of found their groove again. But obviously no cause for concern, but let's let you know every weekend is going to be a battle.
Nelly McEnroe Morenas had a really good weekend at the plate. It seems like that is coming along for the Suter third baseman.
Yeah, you look at Nelly, Gabby Garcia. Those are the two that have just been so consistent. Gabby did it again yesterday, home run, 4 RBIs. I mean, it's been crazy to think, Gabby's a true freshman. Nelly's a redshirt freshman who obviously didn't play last season. And those are right now the most consistent hitters, because Cassie Pickering, she's more than happy to take the walk. Mm-hmm. She had a strange line against Wichita State, 1-for-1, 4 runs scored because she walked four times. She hit a home run in that one at bat, but she is so patient at the plate, and if she's not getting a hit, she's definitely getting a walk. But that's opening the door for Nelly, for Gabby, to really take advantage, have runners on base, and try to make something happen. That
on-base percentage is skyrocketing. What's going on with Ella Parker?
That was, sometimes we used to do this in football, where Brent Venables would sneak in an injury update that we didn't really even know about, and Patty did that Tuesday when it came to Ella Parker. Obviously something in the lower body, because they're not saying that they're going to keep her out, but they're mentioning if we have to pinch run, that's okay. That's an idea that we can definitely get behind, and maybe gives you a little reason as to why it feels like Ella hasn't been swinging as hot of a bat as what you might have expected. Maybe those first couple weekends blew up the expectations. Like, she's gonna be a 600 hitter. She's gonna have 20 home runs. Okay, she's still gonna be really, really good. But
she still might. That's the scary thing, because she's that good of a hitter. It is kind of interesting though, because there are still some warts on this team, it seems, even though they're 30-1 and number 2 in the country. Now you take that uptick, right, with the schedule. Tennessee coming to town this weekend for what is going to be a massive series yet again.
Massive series. This is one of those, when I saw the schedule, I circled it. I didn't circle South Carolina. That was my fault. But I definitely circled the Vols, and you're expecting to be top 10, top 5. They're about number 14 at this point. They've had some hiccups, but you know when they come to town, it's going to be a great series. Carlin Pickens, obviously.
She's like the phenom right now in the world of softball.
World on fire with a 78-mile-per-hour pitch, the fastest ever earlier this week. Cannot wait. Pickens versus Landry. I gotta believe that'll be Friday night.
That is the equivalent. I believe it's like 110 miles an hour from the circle at 78 miles an hour. Carlin Pickens, though, 11-4 this season, a 0.86 ERA. So for an Oklahoma team that not necessarily struggling offensively, I mean, my God, they scored 19 runs on Wednesday. It will be a very, very good test, and especially for some of these younger hitters as they work their way back into SEC play.
Yeah, and that's something Patty mentioned Tuesday as well. Just these young hitters going through the process of the scouting and everything that goes into trying to be ready for this SEC grind, to face elite level of pitching every single week. There's no drop-offs whatsoever. There might have been Wednesday, and everyone took full advantage, which is what you need to do, because here come the good arms, the big arms. Once again, they had some trouble against Missouri in those final two games. So I'm not expecting a sweep this weekend, but I'm expecting a really great series.
And I would think that, just the way that they played on Wednesday night, if you want to make a statement that that's not us, what better way to do it than welcoming in a top 15, top 10-ish type team in Tennessee. Just overall, in terms of the SEC, it seems like they're right in the middle of it, working for a regular season championship.
Yeah, teams are doing exactly what you expect between Florida and Texas A&M, and South Carolina has not dropped off like I might have thought they would.
Interesting.
Arkansas is rising back up. They were the biggest mover after this last weekend. So, you already got those series knocked out. I mean, you still got some big ones coming, but yeah, this league, as we saw in men's basketball and women's basketball, it's been exactly as deep as what we're going to see in baseball, exactly as deep as what you first thought.
Yeah, we were talking about it as we make our way over to the baseball side of things. This next month, and you look at the schedule, even some of the midweek stuff with you have Texas Tech next week. They obviously went up to Oral Roberts and played well, which is kind of weird because they don't go up there very often and play very well in Tulsa. 11-2 victory. Reed Hensley was fantastic. Set down 12 in a row coming in for Jacob Golston. George and I were going over to football on Tuesday night during the game, and his first three pitches that we heard on the radio from Toby, they went to the backstop. It was not great for Jacob Golston. He continues to struggle. I mean, I don't think you can pitch him anymore, to be completely honest. He's going to have to work on that in the bullpen, it would make it seem. But offensively, and I talked to Skip about this morning on the radio, the offense has been kind of a delight because you put up 13 runs last weekend against Mississippi State. You obviously won the series. You came from behind after being up 7-0 on Saturday. Won the game on Sunday, obviously 7-3. It's been really nice. I mean, I think offensively the power numbers aren't there, but they're still scoring a lot of runs, which with this pitching staff you would think is going to be a good equation moving forward. So we'll see. The schedule, though, from an SEC perspective is pretty tough. Obviously, you got Alabama coming up this weekend. Going to have to keep an eye on the weather. It sounds like Saturday and Sunday. I know. No, because it's supposed to rain on Saturday and Sunday, but I don't know what the plan would be. I don't know if they would try to play I don't think that the plan would try to be a doubleheader on Friday. They haven't announced anything like that. So I don't know what they're going to do. You would hope that maybe at some point you get a little bit of a break in the weather on Saturday and Sunday, and maybe you get the games in. The Saturday game is a national television game at noon, so maybe you get in before the weather comes in. But overall, I would just say it's been a pretty good ride for now.
How important, or what did it say about OU to lose Friday? With your big dog, and then come back and win Saturday.
It was a good answer because I think that I asked Skip on Friday night about it. You kind of interested to see how they respond after basically getting shut down on Friday night. I mean, it was a 2-1 game, had multiple opportunities, didn't hit the ball with runners in scoring position, and it was a nice response early. You got up 7-0. You felt pretty damn good about it, and then Mississippi State, you make one error on Saturday afternoon with Malachi Witherspoon on the mound, with Cade Crossland on the mound, and everything kind of fell apart. So it was a good response to get out of there with a win, tie the series up, win on Sunday with Malachi Witherspoon, even though he had a little bit of a bad third inning with a throwing error to second base that would have, it would have emptied the bases. All of a sudden, there's 2 on with no out, and of course, a ball finds the gap. That seems how that works usually. But overall, I thought it was a really good performance because I don't think the Mississippi State's not anything special, but you need to win home series, and you certainly can't be losing home series, and you certainly can't be making a habit of losing on Friday night with Kyson because he was phenomenal. Like, that was probably the best game that he had pitched all year.
That's what I was going to say. It felt weird. It felt that was one of his better outings, but that's the game of baseball. Sometimes you don't get the win. Since you're out there, how different has the atmosphere and the crowd felt?
It was really good on Friday night. And the way it helped out that the weather was nice. You were on the back end of spring break, so there was a lot of people with their families and stuff like that. But I thought it was fantastic. the next couple weeks is going to be even better. You got LSU coming to town next weekend. Obviously, that's going to be a big series at Eldell, and then Vanderbilt coming in the week after. So it's really, really tough, and especially when you look at the rankings and the standings, even in the SEC. It's like a who's who list of the top 10 right now amongst the the top 5, top 6 in the SEC. I think all 6 of them are in the D1 baseball top 10, but you can lean on the pitching staff, I think, and especially on the bullpen. Dylan Crooks has been fantastic on the back end, even got a hitting opportunity.
The sack bunt.
Well, and that kind of leads into the conversation about Scott Mudler, because he left the game on Sunday, stealing second base, or I guess it would have been on Saturday he left the game, and dislocated his shoulder, which on the surface, it seems terrible, awful, especially when you're talking about a catching position that doesn't have a lot of depth, because it's him or Easton Carmichael usually back there. They don't want to have to burn Cole Hansen, Kinsey Hansen's younger brother. They don't want to have to burn his red shirt. It seems like it's day-to-day is what Skip said. He was out of the sling on, I guess that would have been Wednesday of this week. To think that he's going to be in the lineup on, at any point this weekend, I'd be a little surprised if that were to happen, but maybe you can get him back slowly, and maybe you could even DH him if nothing else. Obviously, you don't want to throw him behind the plate. So, Dylan Crooks did get a at-bat on Sunday afternoon. He came in the 8th, and it was because of the Scott Mudler injury that he had to hit because they took away the DH. So it'll be interesting to see how they kind of navigate this moving forward.
How you feel about the rotation? Is it locked down? It doesn't feel like it.
Not great. I don't feel great about it. There's a lot of talent, but I think they're still trying to find their way. Malachi's still a really young starting pitcher when you get at the end of it. Kate Crossland was making his 3rd start. Right. So you're going to have to kind of, I think, roll with the punches. It's not like they're going to be taken out of the rotation, and I don't think that they're anywhere close to thinking about messing with the trio of guys. But you obviously had to make the move with Cam Johnson. I think there's a more comfortable position there with Kate Crossland pitching on Saturdays. I think in the end, you're going to be happy with that, but you're going to probably have to kind of roll with the punches. There's going to be innings where it's going to be really, really good, and then you're going to have an inning like each of them had over the weekend against Mississippi State where you go, all right, we're going to have to dig out of this hole a little bit. It's going to be more about how can they eat up enough innings to get to the back end and get to the Jamie Hitts, get to the Jason Bodines, get to Michael Catalanos, get to Jaden Barfield. They've been fantastic out of the bullpen for Oklahoma, and then obviously just try to get to the 8th or the 9th inning and give the ball to Dylan Crooks. I mean, he's not trying to be dramatic. He's been the best closer in college baseball. He leads the country in saves, has an under 1 ERA, and has been really, really dominant.
More important this weekend, just kind of scouting Bama.
Yeah.
For OU's hitting or for its pitching.
Can it be a little bit of both? Can it be the pitching
yeah.
so it doesn't put all the pressure on the bats? Alabama's been really, really good. And I think that this is kind of a good barometer to see where this is at before a team like an LSU comes into town. Alabama's had a really strong start to the season. Obviously, they ran into Tennessee last weekend, which is going to happen to a lot of people these days in the sport of college baseball. But it's going to be a good test to see where this thing's at and see if they're kind of where their ranking says they are. And as of today, with the 21-3 record, yeah, they're definitely in that top 10 right now. And we'll see this next month, even as we said with the midweek games, Texas Tech, you have Bedlam coming up in 2 weeks up in Stillwater, even though Oklahoma State struggled right now, losing 2 or 3 to Utah over the weekend. So I'm kind of excited to see where this is at, but I know just talking to some people within the program that it feels like they think they have a chance to be pretty damn good. And I think the biggest surprise has been the consistency that they've been able to score runs. And when you're replacing 75% of the offense, you feel pretty good about that moving forward.
There you go. And then we're ready for the real opening day.
Yeah, absolutely. Cubs going to win the World Series. 160-2 is the rally cry right now.
The first 2 don't count.
Well, they don't count because they were in Japan. That's right. It is kind of weird, though. I saw one of the Cubs Twitters put this out. The idea that their first 5 games start at 5 a.m., 8:30, 9 o'clock, not the best.
No.
Not the best. but it's probably better than opening up in Chicago, where I think it's like 40 degrees today. All right, Bob, we appreciate it. Going to be really interesting to see what happens over at left field. Obviously, we'll keep an eye on the pitching, because that certainly seems like once you get past Sam Landry, if you really want to get to that point of a super regional or get back to Oklahoma City, you're going to need to develop that second person in line.
Got to have a consistent arm. You think it's going to be Kirsten Deal. This might be the first roadblock she's really had since being in Norman. See how she mentally overcomes it.
Nobody better than Jen Rocha to have to figure this thing out, although it's a pretty tough task right now. For Bob Przybylo, I'm Eddie Radosevich. We'll see you next week on the Stickball Report here on the SoonerScoop.com YouTube channel.